still concerns, though, the speed of this private credit market growth. And I know that you guys are sticking to investment grade, but if there is an episode, I'm just thinking about potential spillover. I mean, do you feel the need to sort of not stress test, but really just monitor your portfolio and perhaps do tests for early signs in the industry at the moment?
Your point's fantastic. I mean, in credit, the returns are made by avoiding losses. There's a little bit of alpha generated on origination, but the managers that do well are really the ones that mitigate losses. From our perspective, we have two things that help with that. Number one, as you probably know, we have two businesses, an asset management business and a retirement services business. Half of our capital comes from our own retirement services business, half comes from third-party clients. Every loan that we make, we're also putting our own money alongside our investors, oftentimes with a tune of 30 to 40% of that security we're investing in ourselves. And so we really feel a magnified impact when there's a loss. The second thing, as a result of that setup, we have multiple lenses on risk management, not only asset management lens of risk management, but also insurance lens of risk management to really help make sure that we're avoiding losses. And by and large, we're staying top of the capital structure, first lien, not really venturing into second lien, not really venturing into triple Cs. If we're going to go that deep into capital structure, we'd much rather play it through hybrid, which is downside protection with some equity upside.
June this year, Apollo exited Asia real estate equity strategy. Why was that? Did you feel that extra challenge coming from the real estate segment?
Yeah, good question. We don't have a particular edge out here in real estate equity. There's a really robust ecosystem for equity out in Asia generally. There's also a really robust ecosystem of bank lending in Asia. Our job out in Asia is to fill in the gaps. And so we no longer saw real estate equity as the gap. We wanted to fill in with hybrid product or with real estate lending that the banks no longer do.
We've got India, your team in India, finding some opportunities there. Last year, you guys were talking about mispriced risk reward. Where were those opportunities that you mentioned, and how does the India election weigh in all this?
The mispriced risk reward in India, by far and away, is in our hybrid business. So we're a purchase price matters investor, which is parlance for the old school value investing. And what that means in growth markets is you don't want to take equity risk. You don't want to pay up for the growth of equity. You want downside protection in where you invest. You want to be senior to the equity and still benefit from some of the equity upside. So in India, you have a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of really brand name families who want private equity by their side. They want help with strategy development, management development, capital structure development, monetization strategies. They just don't want to sell control. And by and large, an entrepreneur or a sponsor believes their business will go like this, and any investor almost believes that their business will actually go like this. And so hybrid's a perfect product to come in a little bit senior to the equity where you can get a guaranteed 6, 7, 8% return, but you're not also looking to make more than mid-teens. Like the equity's taking that risk, and that's what the equity should be making. And so we've found the mispriced risk reward there. Because
I have you, and because the big headline this past week was Paramount offering $11 billion for, of course, Paramount's Hollywood studio. That offer coming from Apollo. What's the internal conversation? Is it enough to win this deal? Are you interested in picking up more studio business?
Excellent question. Obviously, I can't comment on it, but what I can say is the head of our private equity business, David Samber, is a longtime media investor. He's had a long-term thesis that media rights and content in media have long-term value. We've invested in a lot of assets like that historically in both our hybrid business and our equity business, and we'll always be active in the market for good properties.
What about in Asia?
In Asia, some of our businesses, IP businesses, have big businesses in Asia, including Legendary.